33 blocked shots and 33 shots missed the net tonight. Is that kind of the story in terms of trying to generate offense tonight and not having success?
I mean, that's part of the story. I mean, we had some chances, some looks during the PP, some empty nets, and we didn't capitalize. Maybe got a little frustrated, and but we threw a lot of rubber around that area. You got to keep doing that. Well, I think the game plan's there. We just got to start executing.
What did you think of Casey being thrust into this situation in a game?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. He was fine. That's a tough situation. He just found out the other day. So yeah, but Casey he'll be ready.
Do you have an update on either Myers or Demko?
So Mizey had the flu today. He was really under the weather, and then Demmer got evaluated today. He's going to be probably week to week.
Rick, I know there's a lot of blocked shots, but there also seemed to be a bit of a reluctance at times for your guys to shoot the puck. Have you ever seen a team so reluctant to shoot? And then second part of the question, what are you seeing from PD right now? I know there was a couple chances that were right there for him. We saw the frustration. What are you seeing?
Well, I think like the team, I think there's times we're not decisive. Like when you got that puck and you beat pressure, it's downhill and it's everybody and it's shot on net, people in net. And for whatever reason, and we had some of those, but then we deferred, tried to throw a cross ice pass, or in reference to Petey's a young kid. This is his first kind of taste of pressure playoff thing, and this is good for him. He's got to learn that he's got to dust himself off and be ready for Game 3, and he's got to be very decisive with the puck. I want to see him shoot the puck, like he's got to take it, I think he'll be fine. I mean, this is good for him. Good learning lesson.
I think we'd all admit 5-on-5, you guys have probably been the better team in both games, but it's a 1-1 series. Do you like what you're seeing 5-on-5 from your side right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of possession time. I don't know what the possession was. Give them credit. They hung in there. They blocked a lot of shots, and they scored when they had to score. But we're not going to. I'm not changing too much. I mean, there's a few tweaks here and there, but it's about some execution. We need some guys to kind of execute some plays for us.
Rick, you've talked a lot about being patient, letting the game come to your team. In the first period, even as you had an edge in play, did you think that was something that your club maybe got away from a little bit tonight? Yeah,
because we didn't get the puck to the net. Like we were I felt it halfway through the game. Actually, Dakota and Garza started to do it, which they yet never do, is, they're trying to make plays in the middle. When if we go north, that's when you get teams in trouble. We're reluctant. I don't know if they thought it was going to be easy because we had all this possession time. Not those two guys, I'm saying the team in general. But, it was low. What is it, 4 shots each after the first period? It wasn't much, right? But like I said, I thought we were reluctant to shoot the puck the first period. Really reluctant. And it's something that you got to have, Footy said after the game, it's a learning lesson for these guys. You just got to take what's there. Don't force something that's not there.
With the way that they're fronting shots, and not all the time, but especially when your defenders are shooting, I mean, they're fronting pretty aggressively, fairly regularly, and looks like they're trying to counter off them too. Is that cat and mouse stuff, or is that something that how do you beat that, I suppose?
Well, I don't want to divulge. I said it 10 times during the third. It's there, the play that I want, but for whatever reason, we're not seeing it right away. But it's there. I mean, we're getting some opportunities, but there's a couple of things that we can do when teams front, and I think we gotta work on in practice, and we got to really show these guys again that you got to trust it. Sometimes you get frustrated and you forget the trust. I think we got to trust what we're doing.
Take me through the power play. You haven't got one yet. You had a chance earlier in the game to kind of make some hay on the power play. What's not there?
Well, we had 3 chances. That was an empty net. We score then. The power play is great. And then people get frustrated, and then you start not shooting the puck. That's what happens. We had 3 opportunities. They're gimmies. And then what happens is the next guy who gets it, he wants to make a pretty play, and then wobbles, you saw it, or it's a bad pass, and then the frustration sets in. So that's what happens. You got to go through this stuff. You got to learn how to play under pressure on these situations. That's it.
Overall, I mean, would it be easy to say your best players still need to find another level and be your best or most productive, or you're just happy with what they're doing process-wise?
No, I think they tried hard. I think they had to kind of breathe a little bit, and execute a little execution there. There's, it's 1 past 2. It's downhill. It's shot. It'll come, but they just got to breathe. I mean, it's 1-1. We didn't. We know it's going to be a tough series, and we got a couple days off to regroup and get her going.
Rick, you talked about frustration. What's the key to resetting that kind of mentality and getting rid of that frustration in guys who are young players who haven't necessarily been in this situation before?
Sorry. Well, I think it's important that each individual just sticks with it. Like, it just takes 1 or 2 guys to get frustrated. It does, and then you can see it ravel. So I felt this year, last year, this team, when it got frustrated, it really kind of went through the team. I thought this year we really bounced back after frustrated. We come back pretty well after a frustrated game or a couple of games. So that's what, we're going to rely on that resolve that we had this year. You can't, there's some positives of this game, but you can't let the frustration of them fronting pucks or whatever, or our lack of execution get in practice tomorrow. Or when we practice, and let's execute these plays and reps and reps and reps. And when it comes to the pressure, it's there for you. That's how you handle pressure.
Rick, obviously, defensively packing the middle, they're taking something away, but they also have to give something up. How do you exploit what they're giving up?
Well, we had a couple of posts. Dak had that. I think he got hooked there. I mean, there's 6 glory chances. If you convert 3, it's 50%. So I don't know. There's a lot to dive into, and to me, is execution, and also, I don't even want to get into the one option I know is there. We just got to find it, and when teams front pucks.
You've talked about your team being even keel all season long and trying to practice that. You're going into Nashville now, hostile territory for a lot of guys, first time. How much confidence do you have in the group heading into Nashville?
I'm very confident. Look at the third. We had the puck the whole time, and the guys are trying. It's just you just can't get frustrated after a loss. We got some guys that they want to play better, they want to execute, and they just got to breathe and relax and have a good practice. Get a good meal in you, go for a walk, and then just be ready. I mean, that's what playoff hockey's all about. You can't get too nervous about it. You just got to. It's a hockey game.
Adam, hold on a second. We have to get Nashville in this room. 2 more questions, one here, and then we'll be done.
Coach, from a defensive perspective, 16 shots, 15 on DeSmith, and you guys basically blanked them in the third period. How important is that defensive structure, and is it a byproduct of just the constant offensive structure in Nashville kind of sitting back a little bit?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think when they have 4 or 5, they had 5 chances, 5 on 5. I'll take that all day long. I'll book that for the rest of the playoffs, but that's not going to happen. They had 5 chances, 5 on 5. Give them credit, though. They did what they had to win, but we just got to figure a way of some people shooting the puck when we should, and some people getting some areas when, behind the front and pucks on these, these rebounds, and then put them in. There's 3 or 4 sitting there, or there's some 3 or 4 shots that if you shoot it, it's in the net. You got to be decisive. That's what it's about. So it's not a big. We're not going to be in there looking at a big game plan. We're going to be switching stuff because we had, 33 attempts or blocks and all that stuff. But there are some stuff that we can do for sure.
Just to go back to the Demmer question, being out week to week, which sounds like not for the rest of the series. Yeah. What's the challenge now for the group for morale? Because that's, in the end, you have bumps, they're going to come in, but losing a star player is never easy.
Well, that's where leadership group and a guy like Zadorov, who's like he's just a breath of fresh air. He's a funny guy. He's great in the locker room. Those are the guys that you rely on, and their leadership group. You group together and make sure that the young guys like Hoggy and these guys understand that, hey, we're okay. That's what it's all about. And obviously the coaching staff, it's got to come from myself too. The leader, I got to lead those guys too, to make sure, it's not the end of the world. And Demmer's around a lot, so that should help too.
enough already. Like this
has nothing to do with me. I don't like doing it.
Don't need that.
I feel fine.
Generational talent. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.